Good morning and welcome to the Ask Weldon Show, episode 215. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have a little bit of an interesting question we have, or show for you. We have a single main question. Should I focus on how to beat like a one-trick pony, because those are the things that are causing me to lose, or should I focus completely on training to play in the current meta? So we're going to talk about that. And then we have a couple fun bonus questions about fatherhood, about tennis versus league, etc., etc. So before we jump into the show, announcements. It's a kickoff of another week. And here we are. It's Monday. I'm excited. There was a question about my YouTube videos. Essentially, if you're in the Discord, if you're in my Discord, which you can find below, linked below, you will see the links to YouTube videos popping up when I upload them. So not when I make them public, right? So because if I upload like an unlisted video, I think it shows up in the Discord as a new video. But then they're unlisted until I fix the thumbnail, fix the description, post up stuff. So basically, if you're in the Discord, you get a preview, you get a bonus in a couple days, you get access to the videos ahead of time. So make sure to check that out if you want. I just realized that now I'm offering this bonus feature. I didn't know that I was before, but there you go. If you're in the Discord, you can find the videos before they actually come out. I think that that's how people are getting access to the unlisted videos. But anyway, no other big announcements. Let's jump into the show. All right, the first question today is from Anders, who you might recognize from yesterday's show, and he comes in with our bonus question of the day.
Hey, Weldon. I have a bit of a controversial question this time, and maybe a bit weird question, but I will try anyway. So, right now I'm having my first child. So, yes, I'm becoming a father. And if everything goes well, in about 4 months, I am going to have my first child. So first up, I'm full of joy, but I'm also a bit scared because I'm not exactly sure what it means to be a father. So I was just wondering if you actually could tell me what it actually means to be a father, and what do you do to be as good of a father as possible? Yeah, I guess that's the question. Thanks. You have a really good show, Weldon. Thanks. Bye.
All right. So, first of all, if you're having your first child and you're not exactly feeling clued into fatherhood yet, and your wife is still pregnant or your girlfriend is still pregnant, don't worry too much, because this is something that is very frustrating and that I learned through having 4 children, but you don't get to build the kind of intimate relationship with your child that your wife does or your girlfriend does during the gestation period. Like, whoa. What's going on with my data here? All right, well, the stream is tanking right now, but I'm going to focus on YouTube. So sorry to Twitch if you're not catching the show very cleanly right now, but we'll figure that out later. All right. So, unfortunately, they get to build this wonderful relationship with this thing that's growing inside of them for 9 months. That's like a living being, and they're really they have all these ways of communicating with it, and as a father, you can put in a lot of effort to build that relationship, and it will pay off. Like you can force yourself emotionally to spend a lot of time building a relationship with the child while it's gestating. But to be perfectly honest, I couldn't handle that the last 3. Like I was just too busy with the first one, right? So I had a little bit of that relationship building with the first one. But for the father, it all starts after the baby's born. Like that's when you really get to start building that relationship. So I would encourage you to not stress out and not get down on yourself if you're a first-time father for what you feel like is a lack of connection with your child that your wife has this special bond with, because it will even out after birth. It will very much, start leveling off over the course of years. I don't mean over the course of weeks, over the course of years, right? Because remember, they're going to be nursing the baby too. So again, there's that kind of like bond. But yeah, so I think that the answer to what does it mean to be a father starts to be answered when the child is born and you get to hold them on your chest, and that will pretty much answer the question for you. I don't think that I really need to put in any input at that point. But one part of your question that was interesting was how is it that you strive to become a better father? I think that's a more relevant one. And for me, it's about attention and distraction. It's about paying attention to the child and making sure that they know that they're being paid attention to and that I'm not distracted. That's my biggest challenge. And so I'm constantly trying to be a better father in that regard. For you, it could be different. I think that this answer is different for each person depending on what their weakness is. So look at the way that you're failing, and the way that you be a better father is by failing less at that thing, kind of making it your cross to bear. All right. Thanks for jumping in with an interesting question like that. And let's move on to the league-related questions. The first one here is from Caleb, and it's the main question about what to train.
Hi, Weldon. This is Caleb. I am playing League of Legends, and I made it a goal for myself to hit Diamond by the end of this season. I am a mid laner who plays mostly Twisted Fate, Orianna, and Zed. I recently just failed to get back into Plat 2, losing to a Wukong mid as Orianna. This Wukong was able to solo kill me a couple times. However, it felt quite cheesy, because I know that Wukong mid is not a stereotypical pick for a mid laner. So my question is, should my focus be on how to beat these cheesy one-trick players who just spam the same champion over and over again, or should I be focusing on how to best play in the current meta?
Okay. I think that you should basically be focusing on how to play in the current meta, because there's a lot of reasons that you would lose a game to a one-trick pony. And most of the reasons don't have to do with the laning phase. So, or let me change that. The reasons you lose to a one-trick pony are probably because they are able to autopilot through the laning phase and exit with an advantage, and then they know what to do with it. They know how to win with the champion that they have, right? And they know, which item to roam on. They know how to gank other lanes. They know how to force 2v2s that are, positive in the jungle. They know their damage level. I think Wukong has some armor pen, right, on one of his abilities. Doesn't the Q give him armor pen? I forget. And my internet died right when I went to search it. But I think that they know the strengths and weaknesses of their champion and how they could be countered. And so your job is to not be so overly concerned with the laning phase that you can't win the game. If you're training, I don't want to say training the meta, okay, because that's a bad way to put it. But you should be training the macro phase and the skirmishing phase of the game, like more extensively, so that you know how to counter people who are good at their one-trick pony by matching their roams or taking the turret when they're gone, and recognizing that they're going to need to do things to win the game other than just kill you. And if they're winning the game by just killing you, then like literally if they're just winning the game by killing you and pushing all the way down mid to Nexus, then you can start feeling bad about your ability to not lane versus this one-trick pony. And you can also share some of the blame with your team who somehow didn't come mid to defend you, right? On the other hand, if they kill you a couple times and they get a small advantage in laning phase, and then they go win the game somewhere else on the map, then I would say this is where it has nothing to do with the champion that they're piloting. You should be able to counter these moves with decisions of your own that mitigate or at least trade the advantages that they are, mitigate the losses, or in the best situation, trade for victories on other sides of the map where they aren't, for the moves and the decision making that they're going through, moves that they're making and the decision making that they're doing. So I would say this is all training that you should do that would help you with every single champion. And don't overly focus on the laning phase of how to beat a one-trick pony, because that's, like you thought, irrelevant. And also, I want to point out, Caleb, that I know you were simplifying this for the question. You know, you wanted to say, you wanted to talk about this particular game, but the way that you phrased it, right? I failed my Plat 2 because of a Wukong one-trick pony. You and I both know that there are more than one game to qualify into a Plat 2, right? That it's a best of 3 series, and there were other games in that series that you lost. So let's make sure that you don't have that kind of conflation between the importance of what was going on here and the fact that there were other games you could have won to actually take your victory and climb into Plat 2. Don't forget that mindset. All right, let's move on to the final question. And this one is from Zach.
Hi, Weldon. So I'm trying to decide between tennis and league. So I played tennis since I was about 8. I'm trying to become pro. I'm now playing low-level pro tournaments and futures, and I'm doing pretty well sometimes. I'm 18 now. And in league, I'm diamonds. I always play when I have off time because I train for tennis for like about 4 to 6 hours a day with tennis and fitness. So I'm trying to balance both, but I really don't have enough time to pursue league right now. So I'm trying to figure out which one I should go for and how to decide that. Thanks.
All right. Let that finish. Pause. Okay. Well, this is an easy question for me, obviously because I love tennis, and it's probably easier to go pro in tennis than it is to go pro in League of Legends. And to be honest, if I'm being serious, the backup plan for going pro in League of Legends is building a streaming entertainment brand around your personal brand, around a personal brand of you. And the backup plan for tennis could be a very similar thing. So building a personal brand around you online and your aspirations to go pro. But there's a lot less competition for that. There's nobody on Twitch who's streaming themselves going pro in tennis right now. And there are plenty of people on Twitch who are streaming themselves playing video games. So I would say 100% try to go pro in tennis, and at the same time, keep up your skill in video games and make that a component of your brand that like connects you with Twitch and connects you with the Twitch audience and connects you with your fans. But those video games, you should always be striving to be high quality and rolling them into the next game that you want to be good at too. Like focus on training a game, and when another one comes out, carry your skills over and focus very hard on training that game and getting good at it. Because you can always fall back on video games after you can't play tennis anymore. Like when you cannot possibly go pro in tennis because your body is too old, you will still be able to play video games, or broken, or if you get an injury, you'll still be able to play video games. So I would say do the one that is harder to pull off now, in terms of like the physical capabilities, but keep maintaining your video game skill as much as you can, and do your backup plan. You should be streaming and building a personal brand around your aspirations to go pro in tennis. And whether that is like documenting the journey, talking about what you're doing a little bit of teaching brand, along with it, streaming your training on Twitch, for 3 hours, chatting to people while you get, in Twitch chat while you get your water, stuff like that. Whatever it is, like explaining what you're doing. There's all sorts of fun ways to pull that off, that are, I think, not being done right now on Twitch. So you can you have a better shot both at going pro in tennis, and you have a better shot at the backup plan of building a personal brand around your attempt to go pro in tennis that could not necessarily be lucrative like a career, but it could be lucrative like it could support your hobby in a way. All right. Best of luck, Zach. And obviously I was always going to answer that because I played so much tennis, and I was the team captain in high school and enjoyed my time playing tennis. Pretty sure you could beat me, so I won't try to play against you, but unless I want to learn something. But anybody else who wants to play tennis, hit me up. I'm in Jyväskylä, Finland. So yeah, just fly on over and during the 4 weeks of the year that it's actually warm enough to play, and we'll have a game together. All right, guys, make sure to check out the Mac program, mindgames.gg/MAC. This is the way that I support everything that I do on this channel. It's the way that I support everything that I do with Mind Games in general. And by the way, it benefits you because this is a program that improves your training and improves your performance, regardless of whether it's esport performance or real life performance. Use the code AskWeldon to get your discount, mindgames.gg/MAC. What you get when you buy it is 47 online videos combined in a training package. So 7 modules over 7 weeks with 7 sessions per week. And they take you progressively through the skill set of mindfulness, acceptance, commitment in a series of lectures plus mental training through mindfulness. And this is the program that I made to try to do what I do with the pro teams. I did this exact thing with CLG to win the split at Madison Square Garden and take home their first title in professional league play. So yeah, make sure to check it out if you're interested in improving your own performance, your own mindset, and your emotional regulation and control, and your discipline, because those are the things that are inherently affected by this kind of training. And come on over on Twitch. I know that if you were watching on Twitch today, there seemed to be some lag spikes going on, and I'll figure that out. But normally you should be able to catch the show on Twitch and then do the before and after Q&A, where I'm going right now to hang out with the audience, visit, and answer their questions. So I'll see you guys next time.